Hi, I'm Dominic Lombardia from 312 Woodworking. Today I'm going to show you how to assemble our standard bed frame. Okay, so you'll see that this front and back assembly come with the legs already glued and screwed on, so those are not detachable. You won't need to assemble those yourself. The first step to assemble this bed is stand the front and back up on end, and then you'll get the sideboards and take the taller part of the sideboard and set it into this notch. But you don't need to tighten it up really carefully until the other one is on. Now look at this one. Again, you can see the taller side is what goes in here, not the shorter unfinished side. And now, to make sure that it's assembled in the perfect rectangle, you can get the tape measure. Start at one end, measure diagonally across. You see it's 89 inches. Now measure this end, go diagonally across again, and this is 88 inches. So I know I'll need to adjust it so that both sides are 88.5 inches, and then I know that this is an imperfect rectangle. So I'm just going to switch my tape across again, and I'm going to slide this side over until it's at 88.5. And I'll just double check my work here. I'm measuring this side again, and it's at 88.5, so that's perfect. Now you're ready to screw in these screws that go into this sideboard. Okay, now to screw these in, you just want to look around the side and make sure it's lined up nice and tight. Can you bring the camera around here? So it's open, and I'm just going to slide it so that it's nice and tight. Push it in as tight as it'll get. And now I'm going to push in with this hand, then film up top. I'm going to push down with my shoulder to help hold it in place. And while holding it tightly both directions, I'm going to screw these in. I usually start with the bottom screw. I find that to be easier to start with. And you're just going to do that on all four sides to assemble the first step. So when this one sets naturally, I see the angle opens up this way. So I'm just going to lightly push the leg out and hold it in with my hand while I screw it in. And again, I'm holding it and pushing down and in. And when I screw it in, that'll stay nice and tight. Okay, now we're going to screw the center brace in. You can see there are two notches on the front and back where this can begin to rest before you screw it directly into the front and back to lock it in place. So these holes are on an angle. You'll just take your screw, firmly push down with your elbow or knee to make sure it doesn't wiggle. And in like that. And now it will be locked into this heavy piece of solid wood, so it won't go anywhere. And again on this side, and again just firmly, but not too hard, push down as you screw it in. Both holes. And then the center leg. You'll just slide it underneath these holes. Get it nice and straight. And then my longer screws. Just again firmly push down next to it and screw this into place. And the center leg is important so that the bed won't bow in the middle. Almost any bed would bow very quickly without a center leg. That's a very important thing to have. Alright, so now I've got the headboard. I'm going to show you how to attach that. Come around the back, please. Just going to set this so that the bottom of the actual headboard is there, and these are on the back side. And we'll slide it over and make sure it's well lined up on both sides. And it is. Now, it's pretty simple. We're just going to screw these screws into place into the holes that are already drilled out. If you are planning on never moving from one location, it would be possible to fix wood glue into every single thing that you screw together, and the bed would become permanently immobile. It's probably not necessary. We warranty it for 25 years regardless, so we have high confidence that it will last, but certainly last several lifetimes if you wanted to glue everything together. And then if it needed transportation, you could take it in one piece if you chose to do that. So there, 6 screws on this twin, very easy. Headboard is attached. You notice that the back side is painted. That was especially requested. We wouldn't normally do that because 99% of headboards just go against the wall anyways, and it takes several extra hours, so that was for only $15 extra, I believe, just so you'd know what to expect. Now, this bed has double slat coverage. Depending on availability of lumber, sometimes that means twice as many of this size, and sometimes that means half as many of this size. It's basically identical strength and usefulness. It's just a matter of what lumber was available at that moment. And then these will just rest in place across the 1, 2, 3 supports you see. It's very easy to assemble this bed frame, as you can see. If you decide to disassemble the bed and move in the future, you'll just need to remove the slats first, remove the headboard just by pulling the slats out and taking a few screws from the headboard, and remove the center brace. You don't even have to take the leg out, you can just get the 4 screws from each end, and then you'll take the sides off the front and back. And that would be all. It'd be as easy as that. The front and back glued together so that doesn't come apart. And just follow the original steps again. You could take this thing apart many times. When you're disassembling the headboard, you want to make sure to only remove the very bottom screws. The part that attaches this to the headboard itself will be glued and screwed and can't and doesn't need to be taken apart.